Some of the smallest countries in the world consistently outperform global superpowers across almost every major global ranking. They have some of the most powerful passports, the happiest citizens, the lowest corruption levels, and among the highest standards of living anywhere on earth. And what makes this even more surprising is that these countries are not the largest economies, they don't dominate global politics, and they don't have massive populations. Yet, year after year, across completely different indices and methodologies, the same countries keep appearing at the top. So, the question is not just why they are successful. The real question is, what system have they built that others haven't? Before we go deeper, let's clear a common confusion. The Nordic region includes Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, and Iceland. But Scandinavia technically includes only Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. This distinction matters because Finland and Iceland, though not Scandinavian, perform just as strongly, if not better, in global rankings. Together, these 5 countries represent one of the most successful regional models in the modern world. Global dominance across indices. If we look at the World Happiness Report, Finland has ranked number 1 for over 6 consecutive years, with scores consistently above 7.7 on a 10-point life evaluation scale. Countries like Denmark, Iceland, and Sweden also remain within the top 10, indicating not just temporary success, but long-term structural stability in well-being. In the Corruption Perceptions Index, Denmark scored around 90 out of 100, making it one of the least corrupt countries in the world, while Finland and Norway closely follow. These scores reflect not just low corruption, but extremely high levels of institutional trust and transparency. The Henley Passport Index places Nordic passports among the most powerful globally, offering access to more than 185 destinations without a visa. This level of mobility reflects strong diplomatic relations and international credibility. In the Human Development Index, all Nordic countries consistently score above 0.94, placing them in the highest category globally. This means longer life expectancy, better education outcomes, and higher income levels combined into a single measure of development. Even in innovation metrics, Sweden often ranks within the top 3 globally, driven by strong research output, startup ecosystems, and digital infrastructure. When completely different systems of measurement, economic, social, political, and technological, all point to the same group of countries, it indicates something deeper than performance. It indicates systemic design. The Nordic model, a system, not a secret. The Nordic model works because it does not treat governance, economy, and society as separate domains. Instead, it integrates them into a single, reinforcing system. For example, high taxation in these countries, often ranging between 40% to 55% of income, is not seen as a burden because it is directly linked to high-quality public services. Citizens receive universal healthcare, subsidized education, unemployment protection, and pension systems that reduce financial uncertainty. This reduces what economists call life risk, the fear of losing access to basic services. When people are not constantly worried about healthcare costs, job insecurity, or education expenses, they are more likely to invest in long-term goals, innovation, and personal well-being. This creates a cycle where economic productivity and social stability reinforce each other. Role of government. Nordic governments operate within parliamentary democracies, but what truly distinguishes them is the efficiency and credibility of their institutions. Public spending is not just high, it is effective. For example, Denmark spends nearly 30% of its GDP on social protection, ensuring that citizens have access to essential services regardless of income level. Norway's sovereign wealth fund, built from oil revenues, is managed transparently and invested for long-term national benefit. Digital governance also plays a major role. Citizens in these countries can access tax filings, healthcare records, and public services online with minimal friction, reducing bureaucracy and increasing efficiency. Corruption is extremely low not just because of strict laws, but because systems are designed to minimize opportunities for misuse. Over time, this creates something extremely valuable: predictability, and predictability allows both individuals and businesses to plan for the future. Role of people. The success of these systems would not be possible without the active participation of citizens. Nordic societies consistently rank among the highest in social trust globally. Surveys show that over 60 to 70% of people in these countries believe that others can be trusted, compared to much lower levels in many parts of the world. This trust translates into behavior. People pay taxes honestly because they believe the system is fair. They follow rules not out of fear, but because of shared social norms. There is also a cultural emphasis on equality. Large income disparities are less common, and social mobility is relatively high. Work-life balance is another defining feature. Average working hours are lower than in many developed economies, yet productivity remains high. This suggests that efficiency, not overwork, drives economic success. If you're finding this breakdown valuable, make sure to subscribe. We don't just talk about rankings, we explain the systems behind them, so you can understand what actually drives success in different parts of the world. Role of policy and law. Policies in Nordic countries are designed with long-term stability in mind. Education systems, particularly in Finland, emphasize equal opportunity. Schools are publicly funded, and disparities between institutions are minimal, ensuring consistent outcomes across regions. Labor policies provide security without discouraging innovation. Workers are protected, but businesses are also supported through flexible regulations. Gender equality policies have resulted in some of the highest female workforce participation rates globally, which directly contributes to economic growth. Most importantly, policies are consistent. They evolve gradually rather than changing drastically with each political cycle, allowing institutions to mature and deliver results over time. Role of education, tech and innovation. Education is the foundation of this system. Finland's model consistently ranks among the best globally, with high literacy rates and strong problem-solving skills among students. Nordic countries also invest heavily in research and development, often spending over 3% of GDP on innovation. Sweden, for example, has produced globally recognized companies like Spotify and Ericsson, reflecting a strong startup culture. Digital adoption is widespread. Governments use technology not just for efficiency, but to enhance transparency and accessibility. How does AI and clean energy contribute? Nordic countries are also leading in future-facing sectors. Norway generates over 90% of its electricity from renewable sources, primarily hydropower. Denmark produces nearly half of its electricity from wind energy. At the same time, countries like Sweden and Finland are integrating artificial intelligence into healthcare, transportation, and governance systems. This combination of clean energy and advanced technology creates a sustainable and efficient ecosystem. It reduces environmental impact while improving quality of life, making these societies both future-ready and resilient. The success of Nordic countries is not accidental. It is the result of deliberate choices made over decades, choices that prioritize trust, equality, and long-term stability over short-term gains. These countries prove that prosperity is not just about economic output. It is about how systems are designed to support people. And perhaps the most important lesson is this: success is not about having more resources, it is about using what you have more effectively. Subscribe and continue exploring how geography, policy, and systems shape the world around us.